and we have a job action going on, and a lady come out and stabbed a rat.
What was that?
What do you mean? Like there's just a rat out there and she came out and stabbed it?
Yeah.
Was it somebody's pet rat or was it just like a loose rat?
No, it's a job action.
That's 911 audio from Monday morning outside of Staab Funeral Home, where a couple of union contractors called on a Staab employee who allegedly came out and stabbed an inflatable rat that comes in about 20 feet tall. Good morning. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. It's early, 6:12, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts. I've got the raw audio of the 911 calls, and it's interesting. And we'll definitely be airing that for you. We've got plenty of other things coming up throughout the day. Definitely stay tuned, including Hero of the Week in the 8 o'clock hour, a great way for us to end the week on a positive note, highlighting the great work that people do in our community. So be thinking about that and share your thoughts. You can always contact me, bishoponair@gmail.com, or Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Just search out Bishop on Air, and you can message me that way. But the best way to do it is to call in live and local at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here with Springfield's Morning News. All right, so let's. I'm just going to play these audio calls to you in raw format. Of course, these are from the 911 dispatch, and they do edit out certain information. For instance, in these calls, it's the phone number of the person calling in to 911. But interesting stuff, and definitely perfect to air on a radio show. So here we go. Here's the first phone call. This one is from Randy Baxter, who called 911 outside of Staab Funeral Home. And here's how that call went down.
On address of your emergency.
Yeah, could you send an officer out to Staab's Funeral Home on 5th Street?
Yeah, what's going on over there?
Well, we're union roofers, and we're kind of protesting because there's not union here. The lady just come out of Staab's and poked a hole in one of our rat things or whatever, and they're getting kind of nasty, and we have all the right to be here, so we need an officer over here.
What's your name?
My name's Randy Baxter. I'm a member of Roofers Local 112, but she just come out and poked up. My phone number.
Okay, was she a white or black female?
She's a white female. She's the second time she come out. She come out with a knife or something and just looked at us and just come up and poked us.
And what's she wearing?
Pardon?
What's she wearing?
Pardon?
Did you see what she was wearing?
Yeah, she got like a leopard top on and black pants.
Okay, we'll get in there.
All right, bye.
Bye.
So that's the first phone call. Then you had a second phone call come in to 911 from outside of Staab Funeral Home on Monday. And this one coming from John Nix, who called and, again, said that somebody came out and stabbed a rat.
One location of your emergency.
Yeah, well, sort of a Staab Funeral Home job action, and lady just come out and stabbed a rat.
What happened?
Oh, we're with the union roofers and have a job action for the Staab's Funeral Home, and the lady just come out and stabbed our rat.
She came out and did what? I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Stabbed our rat. We have a job action going on. She come out and stabbed it.
Stabbed a rat?
Yeah. She come out with a...
What do you mean? Like there's just a rat out there and she came out and stabbed it?
Yeah.
Was it somebody's pet rat or was it just like a loose rat?
No, it's a job action.
All right, so then it goes on from there, and the last half of it's him sharing the phone number and location. Would love to hear your thoughts, 217-629-7970. One thing that's kind of clear there is they weren't clear on what exactly this rat being stabbed was. And you heard the confusion there from the dispatcher, just kind of like, wait a second, what's going on again?
What do you mean? Like there's just a rat out there and she came out and stabbed it?
Yeah.
Was it somebody's pet rat or was it just like a loose rat?
No, it's a job action.
And again, nowhere in the phone calls did they say, oh, it's a 20-foot inflatable rat that's self-sustaining and has a generator hooked up to a pump that keeps the rat inflated continuously. And this is Scabby the rat. And of course, there's interesting twists and turns in that story. And Lauren Staab was arrested for criminal damage to property. And a police report that I got earlier this week showed that the police officer making the arrest said that Staab admitted to stabbing this 20-foot tall rat. And what's going to happen here is she going to be ultimately charged? And that's a question that has yet to be completely answered. Apparently, they are still investigating, but we'll see what happens with this. Check 5. Okay, here we go. Yep. All right. Sorry, EAS signal going out. Probably just a random test. But that's live broadcast radio, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get to your phone calls. 217-629-7970. Your thoughts on the audio you just heard?
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion there, and it makes you wonder, how important this really was to the people who were doing it, if they're just going to be that vague about what happened. And I think that drives me nuts is that, you keep hearing it was a $5,000 rat, she, destroyed a $5,000 rat. It's like, these rats get stabbed all the time. This is like a very, very common thing. They've been run over by cars, all kinds of stuff. They just sew them back up and they use them again.
If anything, it adds to the street cred of the rat if it's got, like stitches and tire patching on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've been painted like Smurfs. People have done horrible things to these things.
Yeah, these poor rats.
They just go out and clean them up and they put them back up because they're very expensive. They are expensive.
Well, and they're effective too. And as far as getting across the message that the union protesters are trying to get across, and I think what's really been complex about this story is people asking the question if it was appropriate to set it outside of a funeral home, and that's where a lot of the consternation comes from this.
Yeah, you're not really damaging the home as much as you're damaging the families and the people that are utilizing that location. And my question is are the actual people working there on the picket line, are they actually roofers? I mean, that would be my question.
Well, yeah, and I don't have the answer to that. They said that they're part of the union, so we'll see what ultimately happens there. And are they going to be the victims that are ultimately the ones going to be pressing the charges, or what's going on? So we'll see that progress. And again, this is something that happened on Monday. Aired 911 call for you. Here's just a small sampling of it. Here's one call.
And we have a job action going on. And the lady come out and stabbed the rat.
And then the response from the dispatcher.
What do you mean? Like there's just a rat out there and she came out and stabbed it?
Yeah.
Was it somebody's pet rat or was it just like a loose rat?
No, it's a job action.
You can kind of hear him chuckle a little bit there to the dispatcher's confusion. All right, we'll take one more call and then a break, and then we'll get to more calls if you guys are up to it. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Good morning. I have to say, and I'm going to use your word that I've never used in my life until right now, but my consternation with the whole thing is the fact that it's in front of a funeral home. It's the whole respect aspect. He did the damage. I don't know if they're $5,000 or not, but I agree with you. It's going to have a couple more scars on it. It's going to give more street cred. But I mean, what she did was wrong, and she'll probably be held accountable for that.
She got arrested. Listen, she got arrested, handcuffed and everything. So,
well, if somebody's got to pay for the rat, right? It needs stitches. So,
or a $5 bicycle patch.
Or a $5. Well, maybe multiples. Depends on if she went like full on Norman Bates on it or not. I don't know.
Multiple times is what I've heard, what I read in the police report that she was stabbed, and I think the Illinois Times reported it was 8 times, at least according to one of the witnesses.
Yeah,
so
that's Norman Bates type stuff there. So,
by the way, the definition of consternation: feelings of anxiety or dismay, typically at something unexpected. So
Okay, well, you're the only person, I'm sorry, I'm like 55 years old. You're like, I can't say I've ever really heard that word a lot before.
Well, I'm glad to have at least elucidated a new word for you this morning.
Oh, my God, elucidated. What is that?
All right, I appreciate the call. All right, got to take a break. We'll get to more of your calls, I promise, after the break, so stay tuned. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and...
And we have a job action going on, and a lady come out and stabbed a rat.
What do you mean? Like there's just a rat out there and she came out and stabbed it?
Yeah.
Was it somebody's pet rat or was it just like a loose rat?
No, it's a job action. We're kind of protesting because there's not union here, and a lady just come out of Staab's and poked a hole in one of our rat things or whatever, and they're getting kind of nasty, and we have all the right to be here.
And your calls at 217-629-7970 in reaction to the 911 calls I got from the county dispatch. It kind of paints the picture of sorts of what happened outside of Staab Funeral Home. We could still see more to the story, not just with the possibility of charges. In this case against Lauren Staab, who police say in a report that she admitted to stabbing the Scabby the rat, saying that it was... what was the phrase she used? I think embarrassing and wrong or something to that effect. But of course, this is a pending case. It could possibly have charges associated with it. And the union does have every ability to protest. And it's the question of, was it in good taste? And sometimes protests, quite frankly, aren't in good taste in a lot of instances. I had a buddy of mine who shared that, and we've made a similar comparison, but people who protest abortion clinics, they'll regularly hold up really tough to see images of certain stages of the termination of a pregnancy, for instance. And a lot of that's meant to elicit a response from somebody. And in this particular case, you've got a 20-foot tall inflatable rat that's set outside of a funeral home. And then you get, of course, what the outcome was on Monday, a reaction from somebody.
The second time she come out with a knife or something and just looked at us and just come up and poked us.
Now, in no way should any kind of aggression be acceptable, but it's interesting to kind of hear from everybody on this case, and as far as they recognize kind of both sides of the issue here. But has anybody gotten a comment from Scabby? I think that's probably an important question to pose. All right, so we'll be following this story for you. And, of course, you can always chime in by emailing bishoponair@gmail.com, or you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. We can communicate that way as well. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and